Hey, what's up, fam? Further into the unfortunate case, I'd say, of the Crunchyroll original series now, the first one that they announced that they disliked it. I imagine a lot of people disliked it. It's not looking too good, so let's kind of go over to their website and see what exactly is going on over there. Alright, now that we're actually over on Crunchyroll's website of all things, where you'd think, man, maybe in their own home area, this whole announcement of their own original series is going to be the talk of the town, something very big, something that, you know, when you have something like a creator that's focused more on, that's kind of originated on getting big off of other people's work, things like streaming, subtitling, dubbing over, or commentating articles, similar to things like, you'd think that it would be a big conversational piece from this original series they're putting out, which they, if you actually watch the trailer, don't talk about. They pretty much just say, hey, 4 girls in this Cal art style trash we sort of tried but gave up halfway animation are going to a magical city to train to become guardians. Not giving any information on what guardians are, not giving any information on really anything about the series other than that, not explaining exactly what the guardians are. The fact that they're doing a generic magic schoolgirl stuff, like I believe I said it in my last video on it, it really just feels like this. Someone watched Soul Eater and Steven Universe and said, how can we mash them together and into something way less interesting? But, you know, whatever. It's alright if you want to do something with a very similar premise a lot of the time, but then it be successful because of the author's takes on it and what they do when they advertise it, what's cool about it. When you have something like the 2 current big smash hit shonen battle series, something like My Hero Academia and Black Clover, a series that are able to take kind of the same premise that Naruto had of being these made fun of underdogs who have no skill and no talent, busy slacking off and pulling pranks to study being a ninja and becoming good, which kind of carried over Asta, who has no magic in a world of wizards, and all of his efforts and constantly doing fitness training, it would never fully carry up to what having magic would be. Something that people would look at and be like, these are similar, but because the authors are able to put their own take on things, they're able to, you know, catch the reader's attention. People who say, I already like this style, but let's see what you can present to me to get my attention and to make me, you know, buy your product, which they clearly did. Now for this, all they really did was say, hey, look, we're diverse. We're a bunch of, funny enough, saying like, hey, we're diverse with a only female writing staff, and the only female writing staff are all the same shaved side of the head, ham beast, dyed-haired white women. I mean, I don't really care whenever I see a staff and say, hey, that's all men, that's all women, that's all white people, that's all Hispanics, all black people, whatever. I don't really care as long as the product's good. And I'll tell you this, like I've said in my other videos, I'm not white. I am a guy, but I'm not. I'm sorry. Hey, guys, look, we're diverse. Look, we're inclusive. Look, we have these diverse minds and opinions. No, you clearly don't. Just looking at the trailer shows you have absolutely no real diversity. You just think you do, and you think that it's the only way that matters, and really boring SJW cringe fire that's going to spawn out of Crunchyroll and inevitably crush their own sales. Like, oh, I wonder, all these other things that are coming out. Things like, oh man, I bet they wondered where they got the idea of turning off their comments and like the dislikes. Oh, maybe Thundercats Roar, the thing that I think right now has 3,000 likes and 120,000+ dislikes last time I checked. You know, series like this where people don't like seeing these horrible, deformed attempts at things like anime and current fun animation. People don't want that. I'll tell you this right now. For somebody who talks shit about Steven Universe, I watch Steven Universe, despite the annoying propaganda that Rebecca Sugar shoves down into the viewers. They have good story world building ideas, and they have, you know, they have some good character development that, if you ignore the annoying SJW cringe that they put out, is an art platform itself that is Crunchyroll. Now, when you go down from Crunchyroll's official article saying, hey, look, our original series that we're putting out, here's stuff about it, here's the trailer, here's the writers, here's a post-YouTube trailer, and they don't have comments or like to dislike. So how do I know, the fan base, or not the fan base, the consumer base, and the disagree with my opinions? Oh, wait, if you scroll down, you can actually notice, whereas the trailer on YouTube has the comments disabled, on their actual website, they have over 550 comments. And I'll tell you this, it doesn't go very well for Crunchyroll in the right out of the gate of what they're going to try and propose as, look, we're doing original series. And before I get to the comments, I want to laugh because they have the ability to look at what's popular with the with series that they have. They're able to look at their analytics and say, this is what people like. This is what people come to this platform for. This is what people that pay to use our website are watching. This is what people like Kate Leth, somebody who is known for being an outspoken man-hater and goes about caring more about the diversity level of characters and not the actual contents of what the characters like, personality or merit-wise. I don't know. Who would have thought that was a bad idea? All right, we're rounding towards the comments section, but first I want to point something out that I find absolutely hilarious. It's when I say they could have looked at their analytics of, series that they have, big stuff, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto, Fairy Tail, Bleach, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, even big seasonal hits, Overlord, anything that could really give them the inspiration of, this is what people generally like. This is what is the money makers, what people watch these shows for. But you can say, well, those are, big stuff from Japan. Those are different. We want to do more of a Western style animation. Well, funny enough, on their platform, on their website, they do RWBY, a series written by a bunch of dudes from Texas mainly, which, funny enough, when they talk about, I think that High Guardian Spice will be very diverse and will get so many opinions. RWBY is like 80% female cast, where the main team are all women. The main villain and her biggest, henchmen are all women, and the super powered, people in the world, the maidens, are all women. There's only a few dudes that can really stand up to these people. And funny enough, and you can really see the fan base's take on it. It's got a pretty positive rating, and that's just on their thing. That's not counting probably what Rooster Teeth's website is, what their YouTube channel is like, the amount of merchandise they sell. No, they would rather look into the same failed product that all these woke businesses are trying to do. I just thought that was funny to bring up. Pardon my ignorance, but approximately how much industry supporting dough went into making this politically spiced project? The Forever Otaku. I've been thinking about canceling my subscription, and this does it. Dummies, I canceled mine last night. If only there was a subscription counter like YouTube has, so we could watch to see how far it has to fall before they announce that they've unwoke themselves. Yep, I perfectly agree. Sid013, excited? I can barely even have a concept of what this show is about. All it really talked about was having a lot of women writing and directing at a studio that will make original content for Crunchyroll. Who are the characters? What are they like? Why are each of them trying to be heroes? What gives me, you give me nothing on the actual characters and a vague direction of where it is actually going. Frankly, I'm disappointed more than anything that the studio was made the political correctness in mind rather than the actual talent for content creation. You would be extremely lucky if this show would actually be decent instead of unwatchable, considering the team has been put together as Adu Padden. He only directed 14 out of the 99 episodes of Animaniacs. I really hope the show won't have SJW elements in it. Otherwise, the show is all about four Mary Sue characters, and that will make it an awful show. Advice Puppy. They made to a point that they're mostly women writing. Every character is going to be this one-dimensional thing defined solely by their ambiguous skin color, gender, or some other crap. Will be solely SJW than funding these people, which I agree, and I very thoroughly canceled my subscription upon seeing this trash. Let's keep going. Sawtooth Grin. Update, by the way, canceled my subscription, and it's going to stay that way unless this gets pushed to a VRV exclusive or something. You ask me, I didn't read the guy's name, Lord Azura. You ask me what I think, but I doubt you care. I think this is absolutely concerning. See this kind of agenda being pushed by you guys, of all place, really concerns me a great deal. No, I am not excited at all for a High Guardian Spice, and don't hold it against me if I'm not looking forward to it. Onidius MH, any of the dozen other girl power fantasy schlock stock that's been churned out over the last couple decades. Too bad they can't manage anything original, but given how stereotypical the creators present themselves to be, I guess we can't expect any better. Look at those 12 upvotes, 18 upvotes, 16 upvotes. Oh my god. What are they doing with themselves? Alright, let's look at another one. Oh my god, what's the fuck's this guy's name? Economic principle of creative destruction, regardless of who it happens to. Here is hoping that this is a sign it will happen to Crunchyroll. Failure is truly the best learning tool. So, let's see what you all learn from this. And if not you, let's see what others learn. Cheers. From Leggy Kong, this looks like utter garbage, and judging by the staff, this is going to be your average run-of-the-mill Tumblr garbage spent on this show that nobody's gonna watch. This is gonna be a disaster. Yeah, I agree. You could have done something like finance the last arc of Bleach, which I can guarantee you would have gotten you absurd fans never got. You know, it's only one of the biggest selling manga of all time. You know, whatever. From Hiro Tsukasa. I subbed to the site to support anime, not junk like this. Should probably stick to co-production. If it starts seeing like my money is going towards supporting garbage like this instead, I'll probably cancel. I agree. From Darth Pie Stalker, this looks like a show for VRV, honestly. The marketing department needs to take a real good look at what's happening right now. And look at all those thumbs up, 21, 25, 31, 32, 19. You can really tell Crunchyroll, them keep doing what you're doing, have to actually say before they leave and give you nothing. Let's look at a couple more. From True Feelings, they disabled the comments for it on YouTube, and you can't tell how many people disliked it. It's funny, but also sad how detached they've become from actual anime fans. From ODSMH again, it's like they're stuck back in 2010, thinking hashtag activism is still the cool hip trend with all the young people. They should probably fire their entire marketing department. If they had anyone working for them with even the slightest measure of current year marketing sense, they would have known this is going to be an absolute financial disaster. Alright. From Mortal, if Crunchyroll decides to deep further on this left-wing agenda, bringing cultural Marxism to our animes, I'll respond with my wallet. I won't pay for this forced agenda. It's your choice, Crunchyroll, to destroy your service with left-wing propaganda, as well as my choice not to pay for your services anymore. From KK Menchi, do not. Do it now so they don't go any further. Scratch Point. Oh, hey, it's Scratch Point. I didn't even notice when I took the screenshots up, Scratch Point. The most hilarious part of all this is that you said the trade identify as he, him, and they, them. Crunchyroll, if you've misgendered your own employees. Oh, and it's also funny you guys turned off the comments and ratings for the trailers because it's so poorly received. On Twitter, like the giant man-child he is, your customer service is shot. From M. Henry Black, they disabled the ratio display on YouTube. Weak, no one wants this. Dazzler Tarot again. So he is blocking, though his ratio was a bit high. Then again, Mother's Basement is shilling hard for Crunchyroll right now, so that may be the reason. Maybe so. From Nightwiver, I'm here for anime, real anime, not woke women poorly appropriating the anime medium to publish their rhetoric. They've already destroyed comics. Now they're going after anime? I'd be embarrassed for my gender if I wasn't halfway convinced they were a different species altogether. That's a good burn. Good job there, Nightwiver. I appreciate it. From Lauren Gorm, really? I get there are valid complaints of this not necessarily being the best show mess, but it does not mean you have to take it out on people genuinely excited to see the show. For me, I'd say I'm intrigued. I'd like to see more of what we got show and their idea. who sadly it looks like they got a bunch of downvotes. Somebody who's okay with them is still saying, yeah, but you guys still have so many problems you need to fix. No, it's not like they've been up for years and they just don't fix stuff because they don't fucking want to. Oh, wait a minute. And funny enough, from Stillis Viho, nice little guy with that little black crown, Kent, responding, you know what the issue really is for me, is that I pay premium to support animation studios in Japan. The ones who make what I watch and want to watch. I'm not paying to be walked down or to be talked down to by some first-year psych major with a broken bottle of hair dye that didn't make a story for the show that Steven Universe could make fun of. That's like, and saying something nice that steals literally every bit of itself from anime. I don't want this show. The majority of premium payers do not want this show. Our money was paid in good faith that it was going to animation studios that deserve it. Now, the majority... Oh, I already heard that part. Now, we're paying a bunch of people who couldn't get a job in another studio to make a show that so few people want it should have already been canceled. Oh, I keep stuttering. I'm sorry. If you disable comments, ratings on your video, you are admitting that you've put out isn't quality and you can't handle hearing that. Enable comments, enable ratings. All you're saying is that people who have had their voice stolen should be okay with it. Funny enough, I didn't think about that. I do think it's quite humorous that they talk about how they want to hear all these voices that otherwise wouldn't be heard, and yet they're not letting people, is preventing people on their fandom, their subscribers on YouTube, to not have a voice. Is that funny to anybody else? That they're saying that this show is for inclusivity and letting people who otherwise wouldn't have been heard have a voice and be heard by everybody else, and yet they're preventing people from being heard. I actually find that quite funny. I didn't think about that until reading that comment. From I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name, Droe. I found it kind of hilarious when I recently got downvotes on a comment saying I wish Sentai would have produced a Hakumiko dub I could show to my mom when I visit her next year. Ironically, changing the comment system at all would require gasp, elation showing development resources to be spent on the Crunchyroll website. From Peripheral Visiony, I see there's a truth to your assertion, and I agree. Less so with CalArt criticism, and with more on vagueness of product being sold to us, despite the numerous complaints regarding a lack of it. Point to thumbs down, as it essentially not just a show of disagreement, but an impromptu spam filter via mass moderation, to which I see a great deal of disagreeable opinion, but I will not contribute to hiding behind a hidden comment tagline because I merely disagreed with it. I think to refurbish it, we ought to make it report-based and no other solicits enough to report. But it looks like, you know, you're that vastly outnumbered. A game now this, I want to support anime, but if I'm supporting a feminist SJW agenda factory, then I might decide to unsub. From DH Ristal 1. I want to see the official response to the customers, but I'm guessing I will be canceling as soon as Overlord is done. I find it on other sites. I speak for 4 other languages and have a VPN. I'm in no shortage of sites to pick from. K.A. Menchie, let them know, now cancel. We really need to bring back bullying from Apathetic Alpha. Apathetic Alpha again. Finally, a cartoon for fat, white, tattooed ham beasts with hair that looks like they spent the night with their head up a Smurf's ass. Anime shows. Yeah, I'd have to agree. And the last comment we'll be closing out is from this handsome gentleman himself, Gwaltzilla. This is going to be feminist trash. I will earth that is a room full of sexists that do not care about art and are brainwashed by lies. Lol. From N. Henry Blackhead, literally the opposite of diversity. Also, a good case can be made for cultural appropriation. Not only are the white American women borrowing Japanese culture, they are profiting from it. This money could have been spent on real Japanese art. White and none are trans or disabled. These bigots are reveling their privilege. That's funny. Even in their own SJW ideals, they're screwing themselves over. From Rot, what the fuck? Why is my comment being taken out of context and Frankenstein into a monstrous comment chain? Fix this damn site. This is from him again. This is very much the route to when fans establish themselves in the Japanese century. Then goodwill alone will endear themselves millions of Japan and North American. Great comment from Diamond Head X. You three are trash. Lumi the Brew. The most hilarious thing is that the vast majority of women are white. So much for their diversity claim. So, a hilarious debacle, a truly hilarious debacle. Crunchyroll is committing themselves a don't give a shit about actually giving what the customers, the people that give money to their paychecks want. They would rather push horrible agendas and ruin your subscription time. But maybe this will be the time for somebody who actually gives a shit about their audience to rise up and create the next the horrible, horrible decisions that Crunchyroll has made and put that towards a note for your business platform of how about giving what the fans want, not what you think they need based off of hollow SJW feminist propaganda ideals. So thank you very much for listening. Drop a comment below on what you think about this whole debacle, this sad sack of shit that Crunchyroll is slowly devolving into over the last couple of years. Maybe check out my videos. I do mostly manga, Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and Black